I can be a little long-winded on this channel, and I've been known to play with the word salad quite a bit. I admit to that, but take a look at this. Speed-inspired shoes designed for fast culture. What does that even mean? I didn't write that. That's actually legitimate Adidas marketing copy, as you can see right here. In fact, it's the marketing headline on the product page for the Evo SL. And in fact, it needs its own little mini FAQ at the bottom of the page to explain what it actually is. What is fast culture? Fast culture is not just about the pursuit of speed, but it's the spirit shared widely among runners, from their approach to racing to their lifestyle. Items that fit this fluid, hybrid way of life are needed. And then why did you create the Evo SL? Born from fast culture, again, doesn't really explain what fast culture is, the Evo SL is a shoe for anyone who wants to enjoy speed at any situation in their daily life. If your marketing headline is so nonsensical that it needs its own mini FAQ buried way down on the page to explain what the headline actually means, there's a problem there. And it's so bad, but it gets so much worse. Along with that marketing copy, we also got a bunch of images that came out in the press packet for the Evo SL way back in September, but now we're seeing it in execution across the launch of the Evo SL as it slowly rolls out into various markets. And these images are just so bad. And we've got images like this, just sitting around, hanging out, all kitted up, maybe pre-run, post-run. You got the coffee, you got the tote with some fruit from the farmer's market, the dog is there. Or you got this image, having that bacon, egg, and cheese pre or post run. Now I'm a New Yorker, so that would be a bacon, egg, and cheese, but that may differ based on localities. You got this image, which is very odd if you look at it, because it seems to be a bit of a composite. There's some runners, but there's a guy in that upper left corner with a check shirt on that's at a completely different angle from the rest of the photo. And then you got this photo, which is probably my favorite one, and this is the one that really sealed it for me. Now, I come from a design background, and I come from an agency background, and I've been in these meetings, these brainstorms, these work sessions for pitching this type of work where we create what essentially is known as the creative brief for these. And these creative briefs really go into detail. They really set out a story so the photographer knows what to shoot as they style the campaign. And this image, I can just imagine there was a story here of you're coming back post-run in your cute little farmer's market on a cobbled street in some city, and you're grabbing some flowers and maybe some fruit and maybe a bottle of wine in your tote to go back to your Airbnb to have a little party, maybe do some Instagram to just show off your fast life, your fast culture. I'm not joking. That's exactly the type of stuff that, is thought of when these campaigns are created. Plug in some demographic information about who this consumer is, what their age group is, how much money they make, etc., etc., etc. And you've got the creative brief that really sets the tone for how the campaign's going to be shot. And this just really blew my mind. It's really one of those, really, Adidas? We really need to do this? And going back to this marketing copy, and again, this is the marketing lead on the product page for the Evo 1, this is the one that's in most English-speaking regions that I've found this page in, where this shoe is actually live. But if you go to Adidas Japan and you go to the same place on the product page, and then you run that through Google Translate, you get this. And this copy actually makes so much more sense. It actually explains what the Evo SL actually is around performance and, its evolution from the Evo 1 and its connection to racing and Lightstrike Pro and all of that. This makes sense, and it makes sense this would be on the Japanese website because all of that lifestyle stuff that's really for the Western market just wouldn't play there, wouldn't really make sense in the same way. So I feel like this is probably the copy for the shoe that actually makes sense, but where that lifestyle angle to the shoe comes from, I don't really know. So there seems to be some sort of disconnect between the product and engineering team and then the marketing team. I can only imagine that, the marketing team, some marketing strategist somewhere decided that they're going to create this campaign to pad their portfolio out. They have a budget to do it. That's often how these things get started, completely unrelated to what the product team was actually intending with the product. I think that's super clear when you see either one of these two guys talk about the Evo SL out there in media. Patrick Nava, who is the VP, the global VP of running for Adidas, and JT Newcomb, who is also a global director for running. These are the two faces that you've been seeing a lot out there announcing all the 2025 Adizero and Adidas running stuff. Whenever either one of these two talk about the Evo SL, they're talking about performance. They're talking about, where the shoe's coming from with the Evo 1. They're talking about the speed that this offers. They're talking about the technology in the shoe, the foam, the geometry, all that stuff. In fact, JT Newcomb has said repeatedly in videos that I've seen where he's introducing the Evo SL that it's reduced to the minimums to go as fast as you can. And I love that. But then whoever they're talking to, or if they're being interviewed, when they bring up the idea of the Evo SL as a lifestyle shoe, the enthusiasm goes immediately out of either of their faces and they just get stiff and they're like, it's not a lifestyle shoe. And then they go back into being excited, talking about performance and speed and all the engineering. So again, that makes it really clear there is a huge disconnect within Adidas between what the Evo SL actually is intended to be and then how it's being marketed, at least in Western countries. Now, it's not a problem to take a running silhouette or even a performance running shoe and make it a lifestyle shoe. In fact, no one does that better than Adidas. Adidas are the masters of that, honestly, better than any other brand at doing that. In fact, take a look at this shoe. I'll give you a second with this shoe. Do you see anything that looks familiar with this shoe? What if I show you this? Do you see the details now? How about if I do this? Yeah, this is a lifestyle shoe. It's actually called the Adidas City Runner, and it happens to be quite popular right now here in Taiwan. That is essentially an Adidas Pro 1 midsole that's recast in light boost foam. The rods and plates are now gone in the shoe, and it has more rubber on the outsole, especially in the heel. And Adidas put a very classic Samba Gazelle-like upper on it and made a really kind of cool lifestyle shoe, as you can see here. That thing's actually kind of fire, or here in black. It looks really cool. But if you take a look at the Evo SL, there is absolutely zero lifestyle anything to this shoe. This is a very stripped down performance shoe. And in fact, if I put it side by side with the Evo 1, which is where the design language and the overall shoe comes from, you can see that it is almost exactly the Evo 1. There's a couple minor tweaks, but it is the Evo 1. There's nothing changed in this shoe to make it more lifestyle friendly. It's not intended to be a lifestyle shoe. It's very much intended to be a very, very dedicated performance shoe by the product and engineering team, regardless of what the marketing team wants it to be. Overall, I find the whole fast culture and lifestyle angle that's been tacked onto the Evo SL very strange, and it makes me a little concerned for the future of the shoe. Now, this whole video started as a bit of an intro to my actual review for this shoe, the Evo SL. That'll be the next video on the channel. But the more I got into it, the more I realized that there's a lot more to say about it than I can put in a minute or two before I get into the review of this shoe. But as you can see in this shoe, this is not a lifestyle shoe. I'm someone who does wear running shoes casually. I live in Nike Pegasus as casual shoes all the time. I run in Nike Pegasus quite a bit as well, if you don't watch this channel, just so you know. And I'm going to be running a lot in this shoe in 2025, but I would never wear this casually because it just would be the most uncomfortable shoe to possibly wear because it's so performance oriented. And that's where, again, I find the lifestyle thing tacked onto this shoe so strange, and that disconnect that you can see from Adidas product and engineering and then Adidas marketing even more strange. Now, I don't know what the future of this shoe actually is, because in many ways, while this shoe carries the name Evo in it, and Evo is Adidas's evolutionary line of shoes that's really trying to push technology, push performance, push everything forward for Adizero. And this shoe has the design language, the silhouette, it looks the part, but it's very much rooted in the past for Adizero. The materials, the foams in this shoe, They're the last generation of Adizero. While everything else, the geometry, the look, the design language of the shoe is really forward-looking. So this feels like a bit of a transition shoe right now for me, bringing the older Adizero runners into where Adizero is going, because there's a massive change happening for Adizero in 2025. And we're seeing that in the Adios Pro 4 and the Adios 9 with the new foams and geometries and uppers and everything that's changing. This shoe is a bit of a bridge, but it's also a very, very good shoe. And I don't know what the future of this shoe is. I don't know if there's even intending to be a second generation of this shoe. This may just be a shoe that makes sense now to bring the past Adizero into the future, but it's very good. And I really do hope this is a shoe that will stick around in the Adizero lineup. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.